Okay, so let's start at the beginning. Let's unpack the genesis of this thing. Because before it was a global standard, before it was on every tech blog, it was just a guy with a problem.
Right. And this story starts in late 2025 with Peter Steinberger. Now, he's the founder of PSPDFKit, so he's a serious engineer. He knows his stuff.
Mm.
And his problem was actually super relatable. He just wanted to interact with his digital environment, his computer, his local files, while he was away from his desk.
Right. He didn't want to just chat with a bot that lives in the cloud somewhere. He wanted to control his local machine using the apps he already had on his phone. He didn't want a new app.
Exactly. He wanted to use the ubiquitous messaging apps, specifically WhatsApp, as a kind of remote control for his whole setup. So over a weekend, he built a prototype. He called it WhatsApp Relay.
WhatsApp Relay. Simple enough. But I have to ask, why WhatsApp? Why not build a slick, dedicated app for this?
That's the brilliant part of it. It all comes down to friction.
Friction.
Yeah. If you're a developer listening to this, you know that SSH clients on mobile phones are generally terrible.
Oh, they're awful.
They're clunky, the connection drops all the time. Trying to type complex commands on a glass screen is a nightmare.
Yep.
Steinberger just realized that the interface he used, most WhatsApp, was already basically perfect for text-based communication. It handles images, it handles voice notes, it works on crappy internet connections. Why reinvent the wheel?
So it's just about meeting the user where they already are. He just wanted to text his computer like he texts his friends.
Precisely. And it started as a simple relay. You text the bot sends that text to a terminal on his Mac, the terminal runs the command, and sends the output right back to WhatsApp. Very, very simple.
But of course, it didn't stay simple for very long.
No, not at all. Once he hooked it up to the Claude code environment, this was when he started using Anthropic's models pretty heavily, it started to evolve.
Right.
It went from just being a relay to something more autonomous. And because it was using Anthropic's Claude models, the community started calling it ClaudeBot.
ClaudeBot. That's a pretty catchy name, actually. But I understand there was a bit of an identity crisis with the naming pretty soon after that.
There was. As the system became way more complex, Steinberger and the core community started referring to it as Moltbot.
Moltbot. Okay, like a snake shedding its skin. What's that about?
Precisely. And the metaphor is actually really, really important here. The core idea was that the bot was molting. It was self-improving.
Yep.
It wasn't just a static piece of software. It was designed from early on to be able to rewrite its own code. It would shed its old capabilities to grow new ones. It really reflected the rapid, almost biological pace of its development.
So you mean you go to bed with one version of the bot and wake up, and it might have actually optimized its own memory handling overnight.
Exactly, or added a new tool to its arsenal. That's the molting concept.
That is equal parts incredibly cool and deeply terrifying.
It is. But eventually, around February 2026, I think it was, due to trademark discussions.
Right. You can't really build a global brand on a pun of someone else's product name like Claude.
Exactly. And they needed a more professional identity, so it finally stabilized as OpenClaw.
And that's the name that stuck.
Yeah.
And that's when things really just went supernova. I remember watching the GitHub stars chart. It wasn't a curve, it was a vertical line.
It was the Moltbook project that really lit the fuse. This was a demo project where the agent built a simple social network for itself, by itself, to demonstrate its capabilities.
And that's what did it.
That pushed the repository to over 100,000 stars on GitHub almost overnight.
And now it's sitting at, what, over 200,000 stars? It went from a niche developer tool to a full-blown cultural phenomenon.
It really did.
But here's the thing that I think still confuses some people, myself included sometimes. Why is this so different from just using ChatGPT Plus or Claude Pro in a browser? I mean, I can upload files to ChatGPT now. I could ask it to analyze data. What's the fundamental difference?